was walking down the street, feeling kindly, when the wind came out your butt to my wig on. Oh, it was a sight to see. My hair flying in the breeze, 'cause the wind came out your butt to my wig on. People started laughing, they couldn't believe their eyes as my wig flew through the sky. Oh, what a surprise! I tried to catch it, but it slipped right through my hands. 'Cause the wind came out your butt, and now it's somewhere in the land. Oh, wind came out your butt to my wig on. Baby, you drive like shit. Did you see that car that you almost hit? I'd rather take the bus instead. Riding with you, I'm gonna end up dead. Don't ask me if I need a lift. Baby, you drive like shit. She just ran through always stop. I ain't trying to get stopped by the cops. Baby, why the hell did I let you drive? It's a miracle that you're still alive. Don't ask me if I need a lift. Baby, you drive like shit. Oh, 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 oh. Look out, my girl is driving. Watch out, my girl drives like shit. Whoa, 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 whoa. My girl is driving. Watch out, my girl drives like shit. Heard the thick of tongue. Gotta let you know I will fuck you up. I whoop that ass. Talking all that shit, spank that ass till you down like a bitch. So I ain't playing. I'm here to get that. Whoop that ass. It's time to punch face. I'm the one who brings you pain in the ring. I whoop that ass until the bell rings. Already know that I do not play. Throw a box like I'm cutting down hay. I whoop that ass every single night. Spank that ass till they stop the fight. I'll tell you the story of a man, a radioactive gift in his hand. His hand was 10 times his normal size to help him get his money on time. He knew if a bitch was telling a lie, which was 100% of the time. Superpower to make a bitch listen and get her naked with sex-wave vision. Hit a police station in a single bound, slapping bitches down to the fucking ground. His name was famous across the land. They called him the pimp named Superhand. Oh shit, yeah, the pimp named Superhand. He had powers no other pimp had. Oh fuck yeah, pimp named Superhand. That motherfucker was Superman. Asking for dinner ain't asking for much. You had one job and still fucked it up. Sometimes you gotta learn respect. I use my gift hand to correct. Who taught you to hate the texture of your hair? Who taught you to hate the color of your skin to such an extent that you bleach to get like the white man? Who taught you to hate the shape of your nose and the shape of your lips? Who taught you to hate yourself from the top of your head? Who taught you to hate your own kind? Who taught you to hate the race that you belong to? So much so that you don't want to be around each other. No, before you come asking Mr. Muhammad to hate you, you should ask yourself who taught you to hate being what God made you.
Welcome back. Welcome back. One more again. Glad to have you join me here at School for Justice, where we live, love, laugh, and destroy police brutality. And on tonight, we have a live footage of a man being unalive, where the officers want to justify their actions and bring false reports, no investigation, no justice to the family after physical evidence is been brought forth. So sit back, join me, relax, get your popcorn, get your wine, get whatever you may need, and let's enjoy the show. Smash that like button as you enter into the building. I greatly appreciate you. We're in North Carolina tonight, folks. We're in North Carolina. Salute, salute. And we're going to go ahead and jump into the topic. Here we go.
He took off on the bike. We chased him for a while. We drug him off the bike, got on the ground, started fighting with him. It looks like he's deceased.
Welcome back to the Lackluster channel. In September of 2024, deputies of the Ashe County Sheriff's Office are shown chasing a man named Stuart Mast on a motorcycle without lights and sirens.
Speed is going to be 60, going by Coxford.
Eventually, one of the cruisers pulls in front of the motorcycle, activating its emergency lights and tones. Based on the videos made public, it appears that the motorcycle pulls over within 20 seconds of the activation, and the deputies hold him at gunpoint.
All right, y'all. So we hear that off the top. They're chasing this man who's riding his motorcycle down the road with no siren lights on. They have no lights on, totally out of protocol, no nothing, no sirens on, no signal. And immediately, once they stop him and pull him over, they pull out the pow. They stick him up right there at the pow point, GUN point. Okay, so we already see the front or up front action that's already been done on the officer's part. Within 20 seconds, they pull him over, which goes to show there was no eluding, there was no high-speed chase. And keep in mind, the officers has no sirens or emergency lights on. They just get behind him. All right, so let's see what goes down next. Thanks for smashing that like button as you enter into the building.
Get off the bike.
The deputies immediately moved to pull Stewart off the bike. At the time, Stewart was wearing an airbag vest, designed to deploy gas from a canister into a lining that would act as a cushion if he was thrown from the motorcycle. The vest is attached to the bike to ensure it is activated when a rider is dismounted.
So he has on security equipment. Okay, that's what that vest stands for, is equipment in case he had an accident or was thrown off the bike or anything like that, to protect himself. Okay, and we will skip through.
Jesus, ballistic. You get the bang, this heavy pressure on your chest. I feel like I've been shot.
So they're giving a demonstration of what this airbag vest is like and the equipment of how it protects you and the quality of material that it's made out of. All right.
I'll show the size of this thing.
Stewart can be seen trying to disconnect the airbag as the deputies rip him off the bike. The gas canister can be heard deploying as he is thrown to the ground.
Get on the ground! Give me your fucking hand! Give me your hand behind your back! One. Give us the other hand! Give us the other hand!
So immediately they go full blast. There's 3 officers out there, folks. They ganged him. They jumped him. Have that gang jumping this dude. And while he was trying to take off his safety equipment, they ganged him. And now you heard, and we see they're demanding him to put his hands behind his back while they gang jumping him at the same time. All right, so here's the content, folks. Smash that like button and appreciate your support. Let's share, like, and subscribe.
Stewart was fighting to breathe, the vest constricting his chest as 3 deputies beat him, one of which was choking him.
Johnny, get a cuff on this hand. Just the other fucking hand. I'm gonna choke you out, you hear me? Stop fighting!
We're going to stop right there. We just heard what the officer said. I'm going to choke you out, you hear me? While he's actually doing the act. While he's actually choking this man. And you got 2 more on him as well. While he's on the ground face down. You got one by his legs and one by his waist. And they're pressing and pushing and beating him down. They're gang jumping him. He has no clue why he's being pulled over. They haven't told him anything. There's no warrant for his arrest. No emergency lights or sirens was even happening. Almost like it was trying to be done on the sly. I ducked off on the low. Right? So we see what this direction where we're going at next, right? Okay, so this man is just being tortured, brutalized at the moment.
Stop fighting! Watch his hands, I'll let him go for a gun. You got it. You're good. You're good. Stop fighting. That's it, you know. Give us your other hand!
So the officers keep screaming, stop fighting. When it's 3 of them ganging him, jumping him, the man is struggling to breathe. As we continue to watch and witness, this man is struggling to breathe because not only are they physically restraining him with their body weight and their strength, all right, but the equipment he has on, he couldn't properly get it off. So let's continue to watch and see how this goes. Play by play, step by step, and blow by blow.
Dude, still not got it. You're making this harder than it needs to be.
Show your daughter how much you love her with this beautiful gift. It says,
And we are skipping the ad.
Okay.
Once the deputies realized Stewart was unconscious, they cuffed him.
I think he's out. Bring his helmet. Here. Yeah.
So now they realize he's out. He's unconscious. He was struggling to breathe. As we saw one officer who choked him out and said he was going to choke his ass out. So this is exactly what happened, folks. And there's 3 officers gang jumping him with no warrant, no reason for an arrest. All right, smash that like button. Appreciate your support. Shout out to Audit. Shout out to Lackluster. Shout out to Georgia Tech and all of my colleagues. Appreciate your much love and much support.
Hey, get him on his side. He's purple in the face. Oh, shit. Johnny, get his other hand. Go. Go do. Get him EMS started. 10-4, start EMS. I can't get this in. I'm stuck on my shoulder.
Any other unit respond Bower Lane, 16 South before Sheep Bridge. 126.
He's breathing.
Truck that way. I'm top of the mountain.
There's a lot. There's
Go ahead.
So you hear the officers out of breath, breathing hard, breathing heavy. They realize he's unconscious. They see he's still breathing. And all they're concerned about is handcuffing this man. That was their whole goal. To physically restrain him, overpower him, and handcuff him. There's no point. There's no purpose. For what? No reason, no warrant, no detainment, no interaction, no anything. So now that he's knocked out cold, unconscious, they're struggling and fighting to handcuff him. That's all they're concerned about. That's all they want. That's all that's on their mind. That's their total goal. Okay, so let's see what goes on next.
Hey. Hey. Hey.
A few minutes after Stewart was effectively choked out, they realized they have an issue and begin life-saving measures.
Hey, come on.
So meaning once they got him handcuffed, they already knew he was unconscious before they were struggling and still worried about handcuffing him. Now they got him handcuffed. They see he's unconscious, so they start CPR. All 3 of them are starting CPR, breathing techniques on him, and they actually shoot him up with narco. A couple of things trying to revive him because they know he's struggling for his life. He's fighting for his life, and he's in the process of being deleted.
Come on, undo his belly strap. Undo his belly strap.
Alright, I'll be around.
Table.
Go get Narcan.
The deputies push Narcan, attempt CPR, and apply an AED, but
So they push the Narcan, apply CPR, and apply ADD. Why? Because they know this man is losing his life. Why is this man losing his life? Behind their actions. All 3 police officers. We're in North Carolina tonight, folks. We're in North Carolina tonight. All right, let's smash that like button and share. Here we go.
nothing improves Stewart's condition. They continue to work on him for 10 minutes until one of the deputies discontinues emergency care to take a call from a supervisor and frames the incident as though his attempt to remove the helmet is what could have choked Stewart.
I'm gonna choke you out.
So he frames the incident and set everything's up after he speaks with his supervisor as if the man's helmet that he wore while he was riding the motorcycle, his bike, is the reason that he could have choked out. So now it's staged and the scene is set up. Y'all, you all know what this is looking like and what it's leading to. It's looking like premeditated unaliving. We're looking at premeditated unaliving in the moment by the North Carolina Police Department on an innocent man.
You hear me?
Despite the threats during the arrest,
Hello. Hey. I don't know yet, Joe, truthfully. I watched Stuart Mast coming in off 16 South. I know he's been involved in the drug trafficking stuff. He came in off 16 South on a motorcycle. He sat at the corner market for a while. Cody sat on one end, I sat on the other. He took off on the bike. We chased him for a while. We chased him from the corner.
All those are lies. There never was a chase. Remember, I said that up front. There never was an eluded. Within 20 seconds, the body cam shows the man was pulled over, even though there was no emergency lights, no sirens, no alarm. And the officer now is telling on himself. The man is saying, I'm after him because I know or I believe he's in a drug trafficking or substance abuse trafficking. He has that lifestyle going on. Well, do your job, sir, and get a warrant. Solve the case. If there's a case that needs to be solved, that's your job legally to take care of. So now is all suspect and hearsay, or hearsay rather. No evidence, just full-blown attack
To right here at Cox Road.
off hearsay and no evidence. Do your job to get a proper warrant executed if he's involved in the drug trafficking as you claim.
the deputies also admit that Stewart was driving 55 miles per hour when the statutory speed limit on roads outside of municipalities in North Carolina is 55 miles per hour unless otherwise posted. With that in mind, I have found no reports indicating what the reason for pulling Stewart over was. A blood test revealed that Stewart did have narcotics in his system, but none was found on his person.
Speeds were only like 55, nothing crazy with his driving. He just refused to pull over. We got going down the hill past Cox Road. I did a rolling roadblock. I kind of got in front of him and slowed down. There was
Folks, what a weak ass excuse. That's just like saying he say, she say. Well, I heard my neighbors across the street or my neighbors next door sell. And maybe even if I've seen something, but I don't have facts. I don't have evidence. I don't have proof for this to go legal, law and abiding in a court of law for anything to be proven, charges or conviction. So Joe Blow just can't make up anything, or even if they know, knowledge is not what you know. Remember, training day, folks, is what you can prove. As an officer, he fully knows this. He's fully aware of this. There's no excuses. You're trained. You're sworn into duty. You make a commitment, a loyalty. And that's why people have rights to attorneys for protection and defense of their rights and constitutional amendments as an individual to protect their rights of the law. Because you have to go through that protocol, that ordinance, and that procedure to prove that they're guilty of a crime. It's just that simple. So this whole thing is weak as hell. It's a weak excuse. It's bogus, folks. Let's see it for what it is. It's corruption to the fullest. At max.
never any impact or collision. He finally just heated and pulled over. Got him at one point. We started to pull him off the bike. He started fighting, refusing to get off the bike. He still had his helmet and his riding jacket on. He moved both.
They're still pumping him. They're still doing CPR. They're still trying to revive him. This has been going on for over 10 minutes now, maybe between 20 to 30 minutes. And at this point, logically or knowledgeably, the officers know he's no longer here, that this man is, they lost him. He's deceased at this point. And they are intellectually aware of this. So now they just continue on as we see the ambulance and medical, rolling up on the scene. And so the officer already prepared himself to cover his ass, try to stage the scene as if some kind of freak accident happened and this man was choked out on his own motorcycle equipment, his own bike equipment. So the scene is staged and set up for that play. And now all they can do is continue the medical process while the ambulance is rolling up on the scene. Y'all, this is cold-blooded, unaliving. That's what we're witnessing here. There's no logical excuse, no sensible excuse, no moral excuse. We're witnessing 3 cold-blooded KILLERS. That's what's going on an innocent man. He was not violent to them. He wasn't eruptive to them. He wasn't abruptive to them. He didn't try to attack any of them. Not even a threat to do hurt or harm to authority. He was just deleted. That's what we're witnessing here. And so here comes medical, the ambulance staffs, rolling up on the scene.
Only information we have is possible overdose, Narcan, administered, CPR was in progress.
Holstered my gun. We drug him off the bike, got on the ground, started fighting with him. His helmet was on, and during the course of the...
So this officer who just took this man's innocent life is explaining to his supervisor what happened, to the captain on the scene. Lie after lie after lie. That's what's going on in the moment now. All his vicious lies that he's trying to cover up his actions to his superior.
His helmet's got some road rash on it. I was pushing his helmet up to try and get it off. I'm gonna choke you out. You hear me?
That's what happened.
Tummy looks like this. Do 4.
That's exactly what happened, folks. We're gonna go ahead and skip this ad. 1 second.
Tai Chi moves, 2 minutes each.
And then he kind of let
That's
out.
exactly what just happened. I'll rewind it back just a tad.
I'm gonna choke you out. You hear me?
That's what happened. I'm gonna choke you out. You hear me? With his arms around his neck, we see it. And he unalives the man. But you're telling your superior that, oh, his helmet we couldn't get it off his head. It was choking around his neck and we was trying to help him. We hear the vicious lies, the sinisterness, the cover-ups. Y'all, they're on demon time. They're on demon time. These are criminals with the badge. Share, and hit that like button as you enter into the door.
And then he kind of let out like a weird breath, and he stopped fighting. We got his hands out from underneath him, handcuffed him.
He was never fighting. Everything that comes out this man's mouth is a lie. Because he's a cold-blooded unaliver. That's the crime and the act that he just committed. And he singled this man out. It was a target. It was a hit. As I said earlier, it was premeditated. Share your thoughts. What do you see what's going on? I would love to do dialogue with you and we can do commentary. I would love to do dialogue. Share your thoughts.
The helmet, I got the helmet pulled the rest of the way off. And he's just been out. He's kind of been doing like a agonal breathing. We've Narcaned him twice.
We're going to read that right here. Agonal breathing. Grasping reflects that signals end of life, commonly caused by cardiac arrest. All right. He said agonal breathing. Okay. We're going to read that.
No Narcan's working. We've got an AED on him. Started CPR immediately.
We got an AED on him. We're going to read that on the screen. Automated external defibrillator used to treat sudden cardiac arrest. All right, so that's what they basically shot him up with, or the medication. All right, AED. So they knew he was in cardiac arrest. They knew they was catching this case. Officers, y'all, this is police officers. that we're supposed to trust for our safety and in our lives.
And nothing. He's still just, it's like he's deceased.
Heart rhythm.
How old is he? Anybody know his
Max
age?
just got here. It's Stuart Chad Mast. He's mid-40s.
Provide chest compression and
Yeah, I think so. I don't know what else to do here. It looks like he's deceased. I mean, they're still working it.
He's been deceased. He's saying it looks like he's deceased. He's been deceased. They kept trying to revive him, remember, for over 15, 20 minutes. And they are trying to know that after so long, you're flatline, basically. There's no coming back. After so many minutes. And especially after they shot him with the DEA.
But
All right. Good deal.
continue
okay,
care.
bye.
The deputy continues telling his story, omitting that he was choking Stewart, and claims they bounced off his car during the struggle, which is not witnessed by the video.
He just refused to heed. I did a rolling roadblock. He never hit me. I mean, he stopped.
I thought he was going to go around you for a second.
I got him at gunpoint, and he said, "Are you going to shoot me?" And I holstered my gun. We drug him off. It was a fight. We bounced off the back of my car. So we got him on the ground, and both his hands went up underneath him. His helmet was still on, and I started trying to pull his helmet up off of him because I was going to throw strikes to the face.
I'm going to choke you out. You hear me?
And he just stopped and was like,
The body cams never lie. That's the supernatural eyesight that we can get. And the witness that could never witness. That could never be a witness. The eyewitness that was never there. There never was a roadblock. Never. And as we heard, he said that he was going 55 miles per hour. There in the county in that state, North Carolina, that was a lie on the speed limit. He wasn't going 55 miles per hour. And it wasn't over the speed limit on 55 miles per hour. So again, sinister, folks. It's sinister. These people are on demon time. And as we see, it's just so cruel, heartless, inconsiderate, power grab, to the point, by any means necessary, even if it means taking a life.
kind of stopped fighting. They still couldn't get his other arm.
I felt like he was moving his arm back then, but maybe I was just...
Shut the fuck up.
We got him handcuffed, and
You can say that again because you're a cold-blooded unaliver. And they said, we're the bad guys. They're out to protect us from the bad guys. No, we need to be protected from them. They are the bad guys. They are sinister. They're on demon time. And take pride in their evil deeds. But see, there's a thing called the law of order, or the law of attraction. And we also know it as karma. That the energy you put out here in the universe and in this world, it does come back to you. Whether it's in this life or the next, you won't get away with it. All right, let's go on to the next scene, folks. Share your thoughts. Let's dialogue and tell me, what do you see?
I
got the mask, the helmet off of him. He's got a red mark under here with the mask, or the helmet was like coming up underneath his chin. You don't think I could have?
No.
You don't think I could have hurt him trying to get that mask off?
I really doubt it.
Imagine being able to build an app with your name on it, just by thinking about it.
We are
Meet Base 44.
skipping the ad.
I'm going to choke you out. You hear me?
You don't think I could have hurt him with the helmet?
No. You just, hold on. There's no way.
I bet it's
Folks, I want you to understand something clearly. The helmet had nothing to do with it. It had absolutely nothing to do with it. As we checked out the content, we see for ourselves. The man had already took his helmet off before the officers even approached him. What he was trying to get off was his vest. That's the reason why the host or the narrator showed us early of the equipment of the vest and what is made of and the purpose of the vest that these bikers wear for safety equipment. And basically, that's what they use to choke them out.
Well, probably. But also, like, you gotta think, when he was running, he wasn't running like.
No, he wasn't going
fast. He was
fast.
65 at most.
Well, yeah, I don't even think it was that fast. It was like he was ignoring it.
That's why I was recording.
I was too far behind him.
You think? But it didn't. Yeah, we got this. He was just. It looked like he was just trying to drive, but he wasn't going fast.
Sheriff Howell ran his campaign for sheriff on the illusion of transparency. But for 7 months after this incident, the Mast family was given no information surrounding the circumstances of his death, other than he died during a traffic stop.
The sheriff's office told us yesterday a deputy stopped a biker identified as Chad Mast between Frank Dillard Road and Sheets Bridge. They say Mast did not comply with verbal commands from deputies, leading to a fight. Now, officers say they were able to get Mast into handcuffs, but he lost consciousness. And that's when deputies started life-saving measures and gave him 2 doses of Narcan. Mast was then rushed to the hospital where he died.
There are a lot of missing pieces to the story here. First, they told us they're not sure why Narcan was administered, and even though they were told Chad's body was sent in for an autopsy, the family says they were not able to see the body.
So that was their cover-up of doing Narcan. Number one, they knew he was going into cardiac arrest, and so that's what kind of helps revive them. But number two is if you're overdosing, right? And so that's their way of insinuating that he was intoxicated, that this man was intoxicated or he was high. You know, he's strung out on drugs. But if you have not took a test to prove that, if there's no analyst, no tester, no pulling of the blood, no evidence, it's not what you know, folks, it's what you can prove. We're here to divide and conquer. We're here to divide and conquer. So again, that's the reason why the narc was administered, to answer the questions.
Beforehand. In a statement, they also describe Chad as a kind person and say they will continue to seek answers until they have a full story on what happened that night. Right now, the family says they're just asking for prayers and support.
In North Carolina, body cam footage is only made public by order of a judge. This prompted a local reporter to file a lawsuit to obtain the footage, but the sheriff's office fought the release of the videos, likely as they don't look too great for the deputies involved.
So basically, the sheriff's department or the police department there, they hid the live body footage, the evidence, the camera, the body cam for a long time. I believe it was almost a year later before a judge could execute an order to get it subpoenaed. So that was to cover up their whole ass and all 3 officers who deleted this man.
You hear me?
It wasn't until May of 2025 that the body cam footage and Stewart's autopsy findings were released. 8 months after Stewart's death, the autopsy showed blunt force injuries to the head, upper extremities, torso, and legs. However, in the report, the medical examiner ultimately concluded that the manner of death be classified as homicide by compression.
We heard that. The autopsy proved that the manner of him losing his life is classified as unaliving. And these were by the hands of 3 police officers who are here and sworn to protect and serve. What we see and what we're witnessing is criminals with badges. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Criminal with badges, period. So here's the literal autopsy report of this young man who lost his life behind the hands of 3 North Carolina police officers.
Asphyxia of the torso and neck.
I'm gonna choke you out. You hear me?
On May 2nd, prosecutors announced that a grand jury declined to bring charges against the deputies. 4 days later, the sheriff's office deleted their Facebook and Instagram pages. Then, on May 15th, Sheriff Howell released a public statement claiming that the deputy's threat to choke Stewart out did not correlate with his death. It's unclear whether the family will pursue a wrongful death.
So what did it corroborate with? It didn't corroborate with his losing his life. What kind of joke was that? Because it looks like the joke is on you. You're exposed, buddy. Light exposes darkness. You say that you're going to protect us from the bad guys. No, we need to be protected from you all who are the true bad guys. It's a power grab, folks. I keep telling you, it is a power grab, abuse of authority. That's what's going on with these corrupt officers.
Lawsuit, but at this time, there have been no filings. If that changes, I'll be sure to let you know. Was this simply a homicide, or was it manslaughter? Perhaps you're one of many on the sheriff's recently reinstated Facebook page that thinks it was murder. Tell me what you think in the comments down below.
Exactly, folks. Tell me what you think. What do you see according to the state laws? What did you eyewitness? Because I witnessed a complete cold unaliving, whether it's manslaughter or whether it's the M word of unaliving. They took innocent lives. I wish and pray justice for the family and that the truth can be brought to full circle into the light. And so share your thoughts with me according to the laws. And that was the common law there in North Carolina, their state laws. But federal always trumps states, as we know. And again, until next time, I am your host, Scoop for Justice, where we attack, where we destroy, and where we conquer and defeat police brutality, corruption of the law, the pollution and the toxicity, the sinisterness of the evil deeds of abuse of power. Thanks for joining in on another live stream. Please hit that like button. I appreciate your support. Share, like, and subscribe. And as we always do, to divide and we conquer, rise above the occasion, and we shall continue to speak truth to power. Salute, fam.
You know,